of our 3 episodes. And this afternoon's episode is about one of the results of the implementation of the Southern Mindanao Integrated Coastal Zone. But foremost, allow knowledge or participation from Region 1 to Region 8. We also have participants from DENR Penro Ipil, Penro Cagayan, Penro Marinduque. Also, we have participants from Senro Masinloc, Senro Ormoc, Ifugao, and Lipa. We are also joined by participants from the Mines and Geosciences Bureau, Forestry Management Bureau, and also from INRIM. So I hope I have not missed anyone. We maybe kindly request all our participants to please rename your Zoom name to indicate your organization, followed by your full name. To formally welcome us all in this webinar, I would like to call on the Director of the Foreign-Assisted and Special Projects Service, who started his career in the DENR at the Bureau of Forest Development, which now Forest Management Bureau, has been more than 40 years, and not so long served as the overall coordinator of the Forest Inland Project Service 2019. So he's celebrating his first year anniversary with our office this December. So let us have the audio.
I thank you to acknowledge first the Secretary for Foreign Assisted for Policy, Planning, and Foreign and International Affairs under Secretary Jonas R. Leones, and of course our Assistant Secretary for Policy, Planning, and Foreign Assisted and Special Projects, the ASEC Mars Amaro Union. Of course, the other participants, the presence of officers from the bureaus and from those of our partners, as I mentioned a while ago, from the UNDP and some other international donors, from other offices. I noted also there are some from the Academe, St. Louis University. I saw on the screen. Now at this time when this global phenomena or we have the pandemic happening, we are really uncertain to what shall we do. The events are volatile that we cannot really plan our activities to be done for some time. So buka, they call it buka, the volatile uncertainty, very much applicable nowadays, as I said, because of the pandemic. So we cannot go to the field. We are really uncertain of our plans. And as I said, there are the complexities that there are some places or sites within certain provinces or certain municipalities that also are implementing this what we call the localized um, where localized what we call this quarantine, that staff cannot go to the sites, to the people's organizations to extend technique. So the foreign I entered the government service up as more than 40 years ago. So hindi naman siya talaga nawawala. So it's only in different foreign assisted projects, special projects with defined duration. With the implementation of this project, there are less good practice that we learn, the innovations, and there are success stories that we have to share. As they said a while ago, this is the first time that we will be the title of this or the theme of this webinar is Foreign Assisted Projects as Pioneers of Innovation. So we learned so much from the implementation of this project. What is important also is that we make a difference in the lives of the people, especially those living in the uplands and the coastal areas within the Philippines, in the sense that we are uplifting their lives. This 3-day webinar series seeks to showcase the completed foreign funded projects whose sustainable implementation milestones continue to flourish up to this time. So as the DBM said, the Department of Budget and Management said, our project should be sustainable even if the foreign assistance ceased or it has already, ibig sabihin, natapos man ang, or na-complete man ang project, still we'll be able to implement this or we will ensure its sustainability. So hindi siya natatapos na matapos ang mga pondo ng ating mga donors, natatapos ang project. Hindi naman siya. I think we have to look in, we are looking also into the impact of this project. So with what we are having today, the episode 1 or for day 1 will be featuring the environmental protection and conservation under the Southern Mindanao Integrated Coastal Zone Management in South Cotabato during its earlier implementation. As I have to, here in the central office, we have to understand also how these projects are being implemented so that we can relate to these projects. You know? And on the second day, the Philippine Bamboo Setu, I saw this project in Baguio City, yung sites there. And of course, these are now being replicated. Very recently in Las Piñas, in La Papachea, Las Piñas, Parañaque, near the airport. It's very near in Manila Bay. And on the third day, there will be a presentation on the community forest, community forestry project in Quirino. I was able to visit this place also when we are during the pre-pandemic, when we also visited the sites of the forest management project here in the province of Quirino. So I assure that we have prepared a webinar series that will be educational. You will find it educational and worth your while in attending these three episodes. So this will be the beginning, and we are also planning to hold this continuously in the future so that we can also feature some of our other foreign assisted projects, and if we may include also some of the successful special projects that we have also implemented. So to everyone, have a nice day and good luck to you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director Lito, as we fondly call him, for the warm welcome. So to kickstart, inspire us in this afternoon's episode is our Assistant Secretary, who holds a rank of Career Executive Service Officer 3 with an uninterrupted 39 years service in government, particularly in the Department of Environment and Natural Management with honors for the Development Academy from the University of New South Wales, Australia, and a Bachelor of Science degree in Basada. In the 1981 Foresters Board Examination, and was conferred most out in the field of forest field operations, Assistant Secretary for Field Operations. Among his many accomplishments and experiences, what keeps the Assistant Secretary assisted project of the environmental, which was funded, will also be featured in our future issue of the past update. That foreign assistant secretary, policy planning and foreign assisted and special project assistant secretary Maro Jr. Let us give him a warm round of applause.
Thank you. First of all, let me acknowledge our boss, Undersecretary, our Attorney Jonas Leones, the USEC in charge of Policy Planning and International Affairs. Of course, we have no less than the Director of the Foreign Assisted and Special Project Service, Director Lito Fontanilla, to the men and women of the DENR family, from the central office to the field, from the far corner, from the central office to the far corners of the country. I believe we also have guests. Ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good afternoon to one and all. First of all, let me just perhaps inform you that came from a very good learning activity of the DENR, that of the graduation of our environment, the first of its kind being held. I think there are 4 classes, from the frontline to the basic to the supervisory, and yung very good to those who was used to be called the Senro Academy courses. But just the same, let me just highlight the similarities with what we are having now. First, we are very glad that no less than the Secretary was able to grace the opinion, the activity, and he made a very good speech to all the graduates, especially with the theme of moving together towards excellence, surpassing reality, adversity, and challenges in the new normal. So basically, we are all in the new normal. And let me connect to what Director Lito made mention about this VUCA world where we find ourselves in. Actually, to sum it up, it's a crazy world out there where we now find I think this was so, and there are advantages and disadvantages. Advantages because you are able to reach out to people, and we can do many things which were not supposed. But what is also disadvantageous is that we are all reduced to just talking to machines, to gadgets. Unlike before, when we have this face-to-face interaction. And I think that is one, if I would consider very good, particularly if you are the ones directly involved on the just be one with everyone in embracing the new normal. And harnessing its advantages and trying to improve on whatever this before the Foreign Assisted and Special Projects Office, and during my time when this was still being handled by the I think Bureau of Forest Development before our organization, the project management staff. So it just would validate how old I was I am with the organization, as mentioned in the introduction. And even reckoning from the time we were reorganized, that is 33 years, we have been developing, packaging, negotiating for funding, and finally having this point. I just don't know, I may be wrong if this is the first of its kind as far as sharing the experiences and what have you on for the said foreign assisted service or office has under. I'm sure every beside the formal title, lessons learned, good success stories, or LGIS, that the foreign assisted and special to highlight everything that had happened through the years as far as the projects supervised in its project implementation. And as mentioned earlier, there are 3 in this 3-day activity this week before we end the year. And I'm sure many would be very enthusiastic, excited to know what who may have been fortunate, one of the fortunate to witness, if not had the chance to implement. But I think I have to be honest that I am very much excited because I have been a part of the family of project leaders in my capacity then in 2004 as the program director of the Philippine Environmental Governance Project, as mentioned earlier. So, and in the bureaus that I have been assigned, particularly the Forest Management Bureau and at the Ecosystems Research and Development Bureau, I was also fortunate to have supervised projects which have been funded by international organizations, whether multilateral or UN organizations or bilateral or what have you, that somehow have contributed to where we are now, to our competence, to our experience, to our maturity as an organization, whether reckoning from the reorganization of 1987 or far, far longer when we were all in a different setup. So let me just invite for those who are with us now to actively participate. I have here 198 participants who are with us in this room and awaiting we have in store for them. So for the foreign assisted and special projects, I would join others in commending you for coming up with this very important initiative of sharing whatever transpired in the three projects that that the acronym is very hard to mention, that of sustaining environmental protection and implemented by Bamboo Research and the Philippine-German Community Forestry Project in Quirino. I think for those who are in the know, the last project, if I'm not mistaken, has evolved from the very, very old, I think, forest inventory project of the Forest Management Bureau. And I think we were fortunate to have the best foresters implementing these projects through the years but just the same, I wish everybody the best despite the pandemic that has provided for serious limitations, especially real implementation of the VOCAD, the CAD world, which now characterize what sort of management to is all these particular limitations, especially now that we are in the D aspect of the digital world. So I guess Secretary for Policy Planning and Foreign Assisted and Special Projects, I would like to again congratulate FASP, Foreign Assisted and Special Project Service, and our colleagues in the DNR, whether still with us or who have moved on, who in one way to where we find ourselves very capable organization because it's gained that we have taken on and incorporated in our I would wish everyone a very productive three-day webinar, starting with these three projects, and mabuhay po tayong lahat. Thank you and good luck for the presenters. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Asset Amaro, for that inspiring and our official Facebook page. From Sandro Lipa, Pedro Misamis Oriental.
Good luck.
Participants from Sandro Malalag,
for the presenters.
Sandro
Thank you.
Diful, Sandro Kala, Sandro Ramon Saysay, Zamboanga del Sur, Penro Marinduque, and Penro Isabela. We also have participants from People's Integrated for Environmental Conservation Organization in Basilisa, Dinagat Island, and Penro Pangasinan, Penro Rizal, and the WWF National Advisory. All right. So at this point, before we lose anyone from the gallery screen, we will have a quick photo opportunity. Please request everyone to open their camera. So maybe please request and flash your biggest smile for the photo. So the photo is done in 4 frames. So Ms. Laarni, kindly prompt us if it is time to smile. I'll count 1, 2, 3, smile. Second frame. 1, 2, 3, smile. Third frame. 1, 2, 3, smile. And the last frame. 1, 2, 3, smile. So next, to give everyone guidance on over to you, Ms. Lindsay.
Thank you, Ms. Now, just to present this completion. And second, we also with the lessons, good practices to the implementation of ongoing projects and in policy for and for the remaining parts of the program. The former project office special coastal zone managed by the SMICZMP will provide this to the former project then experiences. Finally, we will come to the core of the episode, which is the presentation of the project by our Assistant Director of the Foreign-Assisted Special Project Service. An open forum shall be awarded to our distinguished guest and speaker. Before we finally close with a message from our Director of the Foreign Assisted and Special Projects. Thank you very much.
Start with the presentations. To make sure that your audio is on mute, also maybe remind everyone that we will only be entertaining your queries after the end of all the presentations during the open forum. You may, however, leave your comments. All right, so moving forward, to give us an introduction of the SMICZMP and also to introduce the former project director, may I please call on Ms. Susan Castilla. Ms. Susan, you now have
the audio. Read the project cost is one of which 914.6 the Philippines. Sarangani, South and Davao del Sur. And coastal ecosystem, socio-economic conditions, the environment, all target areas, Mount Matutum, Bay, the project integrated put into place allowing development in the area, institutionalize the use of government environmental conservation and protection center. Thoroughly owned environmental compliance protected landscape areas. It contributes to the water quality and strengthens the coastal resources laboratory and related services to locusts and other institutions, particularly on and the Mount Matutum protected landscape, Sarangani Bay protected system of Sarangani land and coastal resources. To learn more about its services and some of its in 2008 later in this episode. The man who was instrumental achieving the project milestones. Our guest speaker will share with us his vision of the project, his experiences, and the lessons implementation. Though the owner introduced the project director of the from 2004
Our first resource person ranked 10th place during the forestry board. Forestry board now State University is attaining a master's degree as Picard scholar in 1983, both in the University of the research assistant in 19 in various farming activities, that is rice production and agroforestry. Joining us today, experience, I introduce to farmer project
from Ralph Waldo Emerson saying, of life is not to be useful, honorable, be compassionate, difference that you have lived. Former project director of Southern Mindanao Integrated Coastal Zone Management Project. I am deeply honored to be given this to impart my message webinar management in partnerships non-government organizations. The project aims to improve the economic conditions of the and within Mount Matutum protected Landscape-Balasiao River watershed project officer and former regional technical director Apura by Japan Bank for International Cooperation, formerly OECF. Evaluated bidding documents for the various project components. Sometimes in 2003, the exact needs of several captain, seeing to it that the ship will reach its port of call well and good and on time, which resulted in the implementation of the various components of the project. Changes in project scope of works came to the picture later on for one reason or another. The most crucial of all was the failure of General Santos City government partner in the project to provide the land for the ship. The board. 2005 months to get the confirmation of need the board. Securing the approval from the original approved components and targets was a very tedious process. Another major challenge in the project implementation was the concern on sustainability of project gains after its project life. This necessitates project mainstreaming and capability building. Initiatives by the project able to provide assistance to all stakeholders after the project life. Other challenges that a project implementation team of delivery and please don't forget project in integrated natural resources management, coastal ecosystem, channels, notably the river systems of the watershed. My vision that the other areas was my vision that far and even a series of fences partners in a sustainable. I am replaced the civil works of or infrastructure components of project as the physical fence and capacitated LGUs, POs, and other environmental groups as the social fence. These fences would ward off further degradation of the uplands and coastal and be effective strategies have to be introduced, livelihood support, and stakeholders for development of our improved terminal report. A good crisis of the ECPC or the executive director of the center. Before I end my message, please allow me to highlight memorable experience during the course implementation. The feeling of being asked by the to us dismissed due to lack of merit, submitted or explanation. I'm sorry because I wanted you to, despite your good intentions. I started this message with a saying from Ralph Waldo Emerson. I would like to end it with a quote from the same prolific poet and advocate for social reforms, saying, "The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be." Once again, thanks for this opportunity to share Southern Mindanao Integrated Coastal Zone Management Project.
Thank you very much, Ms. Susan and Dr. Basada. Before we proceed, allow me to acknowledge first our participants from DNR Region 12 and Region 9, from Centro Calamansig, Centro North and Centro Camiling. Also, we have participants from Centro Palawan, Centro Oroquieta City, Centro Aritao Nueva Vizcaya, and Centro Apari Cagayan. We also have participants from the Food and Agriculture Organization, from the DNR ERDB, and we also have Don Carlos Bukidnon. So thank you very much for joining us. So for the information of everyone, Dr. Basada could not join us in this webinar due to technical difficulty with his internet connection in the area where he is staying in Nabunturan, Davao. Nonetheless, we thank Dr. Basada for taking time to prepare his video message to share his experiences with the project. So at this point, I hope you are excited to learn more about what happened after the project officially closed in 2008. So that is 12 years ago. So to formally introduce our resource person for this afternoon, may I call on the Assistant Director of the Foreign-Assisted and Special Project Service, Assistant Director Maria Sabina Cruz.
Webinar. Let me introduce him to know him. The subject matter expert forward in is the Provincial Natural Resources Office, Sarangani. He has been in government he is designated as Provincial Action of Change Office 2004 before assuming leadership for the Environment Protection Center. He holds 2 undergraduate studies in fisheries and law. He also received international studies on environmental management from Germany and master's degree in urban management and development in Rotterdam. Currently pursuing his doctoral degree in sustainable development studies. At the Mindanao, the Southern Mindanao project, he's environmental planner.
Introduction. By the way, I am the creation of the ECPC. By the way, the ECPC is an environmental research, advocacy, and training facility for conservation and protection of Sarangani Bay, Mount Matutum, and the surrounding construction in 2002, and it was finished in July 2003. So with since then, it started its operation. The ECPC is a component of the Mindanao Integrated Coastal Zone Government of Sarangani with funding assistance from the Japan Bank for International Cooperation. The creation of ECPC options and conditions. First is the DENR or the construction of ECPC. LGU shall assume ownership of the center and commit to sustain its management indefinitely and efficiently. Then provide fund for ECPC. We have there were several conditions. One, PLGU shall establish a non-profit organization registered at SEC to be called ECPC Incorporated, to be managed by the Board of Trustees. Then the capability trainings. And relation entered between DENR and the province of Sarangani in 2008. This is the turnover the second set of equipment to provincial government of Sarangani for use of ECPC, not covered with the first deed of donation. Then ECPC operates with this vision, no? A stable, dynamic, and globally recognized integrated environmental research advocacy and training institution promoting wise practices and quality of with a mission, which is the generation and utilization of scientific knowledge of responsive environmental management policies and development of appropriate models to support relevant needs of the government, private sector, and the community for sustainable integrated natural resources management. And what is the gap of specific information, data collection, and necessary for the development and implementation of natural. Also, this is a multi-sectoral and binary efforts of various resources by building accurate scientific information. Various functional systems. Number one, coastal habitat resource monitoring and assessment. The one, Center for Environmental Interpretative Study. Based building and advocacy that so we have the microbiological, we have this that is students and other visitors to come to ECPC for a visit. We are also displaying our best practices so that people or the visitors who come to ECPC could view what we are doing. We have the room and again, what are the milestones or accomplishments? In addition, 18, ECPC became a provincial climate change management office. No, by virtue of the existing sa watershed ecosystem rehabilitation and flood risk reduction for increased resilience in Mainit-Sarangani, in which the province has a counterpart of 255 beneficiaries of the agroforestry project. Because this project has 4 components: the infra component, the agroforestry, we have also the CapDev of the beneficiary, and as well as the watershed management plan and its implementation. So in this, we conducted community validation with climate change office. So with this project, and aside from that, of the aerial wildlife, because from time to time, people in the community, they always bring captured wildlife. ECPC is known for its response in time of the wildlife response and the rehabilitation of the animal. So, third studies. In line with the mandate of ECPC, we continue the river water rate study of the major rivers. We finished already the 5-year project. We studied the water quality and as well as microbiological characteristics and sedimentation activity. This is the Sarangani wide. This project focuses testing of the groundwater sources for E. coli contamination and data gathering, which aims to help the LGUs to prevent waterborne diseases and proper management of their drinking water sources. So in the remote barangay, they have this picture the contamination of any bacteria, especially E. coli. And the other study that we are doing is the Sarangani Bay water quality monitoring. So this project is a joint project of the PAMB DENR. So the PAMB funded the project because we want to assess the present physico-chemical and biological water conducting is conducting the profiling. This project is a joint project of the PAMB. The first we conducted the profiling, and the second stage of the project, PAMB came in to fund beach forest. So we are doing already, or we have done 4 municipalities: Glan, Alabel, Malapatan, and Maasim, doing the forest beach forest profiling already. So the next year, bleaching assessment and monitoring in university, because they provided us also the technical assistance in doing bleaching monitoring and assessment. And aside from projects being implemented by ECPC, we are also implementing the migratory raptor study and conservation in Glan, because Glan is considered as of the migratory birds coming from Japan, Korea, before proceeding to Indonesia. Consider this project as one of the passing through Sarangani Bay, Sarangani province. So this is a 5-year project. We started this project in 2016, and we already finished this last November this year. We have this data already established for the migratory birds. Then, okay, the screen shows the flyway of the migratory birds coming from the different countries. So aside from this project, we have also 3 growing activity. Part of the migratory, the raptor migration. So we involve all the city of Glan, the barangays, in doing the tree planting activity. Then, because of the data that we gathered, we were able to celebrate the first Raptor Watch Festival, in which this festival was witnessed by local tourists, but also some foreign tourists coming to Glan to watch this raptor during the peak season. So we're able to conduct 2 raptor watch festivals already. And aside from that, ECPC is tasked by the governor to lead the Mount Busa Local Conservation by virtue of the resolution passed by the SP. So we are doing this. We have several activities to come up with the management plan of the LCA. And this activity was assisted by, and as well as the DENR, the Senro, would like to commend the help of Senro, the three municipal mayors of Kiamba, Maitum, and R of the province, and the Region 12. To galleries, the terrestrial and the marine. So every now and then there are visitors coming in. Except other visitors. And with our study in the raptor, our project, because ECPC and also in coordination with the DENR, because we have close coordination and linkage with the DENR from time to time, my activity, DENR always invite us to showcase our galleries, no? In fact, nandyan sa screen makikita natin si Secretary last year in Sarangani. And during Monito Festival of the province, program for this environmental exhibit, and this is the crowd drawer for the Monito Festival. And in the national in which we were able to grow. The actual operation, meron talagang problema. So, but despite that, meron naman tayong ginawa para to overcome those. Then, donated by the DENR to the province of Sarangani. Now, the province of Sarangani is giving funds or is fund is to access fund from line agencies, no, such as the IPAF of Sarangani Bay, which we're able to for the particular the Sarangani Bay, the beach forest project. of around 1.2 million. So we charge this some of the operation cost of the ECPC. We charge this to the income generated by services. And in our conduct of our research studies, because some we need technical assistance, so we always stop with the academe. No, we have the Mindanao State University and the other academe around Soxarge. Conduct of our Raptor monitoring from the Raptor Watch network of Asia and the Philippines. Short, to all those projects or the PPAs that we are doing, we always access funds outside. Maintain namin yung mga train namin na mga always granted. In a way, go outside. And then because we have always submit project proposal and then to the board of trustees. So ano ang ginawa ng province because of this or just to operate continuously our constructed some, so we're able to request fund and it was grant fact nag-start na ng rehabilitation at saka improvement ng building this year, no? Ito lang ngayon sa in November, 800,000. Oh, DENR are donated one of this equipment. Okay, so what are the current plans or that the years? So number one, to continue or safe for drinking. Then, because the has ended already last, so we need to continue the formulation of Mount Busa Local Conservation Area Management Plan. This plan was already assisted by the Protect Wildlife, but nahinto because nahinto din ang kanilang project. Supposedly, natapos na sana ito before the project ended, but because of the COVID and the implementation the flood control project, and it should be the following year, and the project also on the research and plan nakumpisa na rin. Then because the climate change center of the province, we were tasked to formulate to facilitate the local climate. We have already started this because of the COVID, hindi siya natapos. So we will carry this over for 2021. And is known and it is accredited by the Department of Health and the EMB-DENR. The only laboratory run by the province, its operation, because sayang naman, no? Sayang naman siya, nandyan ang laboratory. Because to accredit this laboratory for food analysis or food, but hindi lang siya na-operate. To include food testing, no, as sinasabi ko, and to maximize such as moisture analysis and ecosystems, meron diyang mga mining. So, you know, this water draws to Sarangani Bay. So ito yung pinopropose natin palagi, and then we made mention this to PAMBI meeting na we need to have heavy metals monitoring for Sarangani Bay. So mga display natin at saka yung gallery mismo na operationalized and wala pa accreditation from the DENR. So hopefully by the next year, DENR could help us to come up with the accreditation of this. Okay, so we have to for fee. Okay, that ends my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention and good afternoon. If you have some questions, ask.
The webinar episode will be uploaded in the FAPs after the webinar series for review and replay. So again, thank you. So we now proceed with our guest and resource speaker. So you may want to put in the a question, or rather a raise of hand from Senro Hawaiian City Isabella. Ma'am or sir, thank you. Let's check the. So maybe you can read some comments from, this is from the Nugget Islands, our organization, the people created for environmental conservation are taking the initiative to plan and establish a mental conservation research laboratory, ensure we properly take care of our environment and for the safety and livelihood of our local folks. We want to cover our services to the management government. So this is from, so Director Cornelio.
Laboratory facility. So comment, and this is a government now operated by the provincial government of Sarangani after it was donated by the DENR.
So maybe we can check on Senro Hawaiian City if
Yes, ma'am.
okay. So the question here, Director Cornelio.
You're asking, ma'am, that ECPC has an international accreditation?
Yes, sir.
Not yet, ma'am.
But are there any plans?
Proposing for this, so because we have several international research centers would like to link with us for the raptor study. And we are, yes, we are planning.
Just to follow up, how does the facility ensure the quality of research and other services produced? For example, who are the clients or which sector users of your services?
In their university assessment, because some of the LGUs are requesting, because they have to come up with the management plan of their own resources. That's why they always ask our technical assistants to come to do the biodiversity assessment, because ECPC, and as we have this, we have the project, no, yung potability tests of the water sources. Ito yung siniserve natin doon sa LGUs, laboratory fees, for the analysis of the sample. In support to the LGUs who come up with the policy in the management of the water resources. And aside from that, we have outside in the water test, no? Then the discharge of the water, and as well as the yung mga requirements for them to renew of the and we generate income for this, no? Because
Cornelio. So from our participants, do we have any questions?
Ma'am, in addition to that, sustain yung standard, no? Yung standard services ng ECPC, correct? As I've said a while ago, that like the laboratory is a DOH and EMBDR laboratory. So there are several requirements as to the laboratory services. Nasa standard po tayo, no? We sustain or maintain the standard of our services.
All right, thank you, Director Cornelio. Maybe we can still end questions. This is from the Zoom chat box from Sir Rodel Arabe. Sir Rodel here. Is your audio working? Ayan po. So the question from Sir Del, does ECPC cater other regions for their laboratory analysis?
Yes, ma'am. In fact, SOCSARGENT areas or other provinces of SOCSARGENT area are coming to ECPC for the laboratory analysis also.
Maybe this is our final question. This is from Ms. Eda Soriano of the DENR. Question is, can other LGUs of the ECPC?
ECPC is not exclusive for Saya lang. May bayad yun sila, no? So for for LGUs of Sarangani, although hindi namin siya lahat na libre, yung so nagbabayad naman sila because they are also income generating agency.
All right, thank you, Director Cornelio. So we move forward now. Considering the time resource person has now become this event, would like to humbly, so may I call on Emilia to award the citation to our guest and resource person. So I turn over to Director Lito. So may we please participate?
The successful conservation. Together with
Because Dr. Romeo Basada is not present. So to our research person and the post-SMICZMP, may again call on Director Lito to award the certificate of appreciation to Director Cornelio.
Ramirez Jr. Environmental for having shared and sustainable milestone zone management project. Patients that feature Mindanao project. Check. By the DENR Science, but Assistant Secretary Ramirez assisted inspection. So congrats.
To share any message?
Okay, so in the operation of ECPC, we are very thankful or to DENR because DENR is always at our back because DENR did not stop in assisting us, providing us not only technical assistance but also some of the financial assistance for some of our projects. For the province of Sarangani, we have to move also or enhance our coordination with your counterpart here, province as well as the region, for and the projects or in the coming years. Sure that the province of Sarangani through ECPC will also here the DNR, Vision and Protection of the Environment. And once again, thank you very much for inviting me as one of your resource persons so that we could also share our experience and as well as lessons learned into us, and the province only continue its operation. But of course, it's a big advantage on the part of the province because I think this only the research center all throughout the Philippines na meron ang LGU. No? Maswerte ang LGU ng Sarangani na meron kaming STF or research or environmental research center. With that, on behalf of our governor, because I'm under the supervision and the office of the governor, I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude for your support for our remaining resources of Sarang. Do it without you, DNR, as our partner. Thank you. Once again, good afternoon.
It has been a pleasure to have you in the landscape. To Director Cornelio in the thank you very much. Asek Amaro, do we have any additional message before we close? Asek, you are on mute. Sir, do you have any additional message before we close, sir?
I have none at this point. Express my appreciation for our resource person. Unfortunately, Dr. Romeo Basada is no longer on board. I would sector for a while. Ano lang siguro suggestion for improvement, mahina yung audio pag diyan kayo sa conference room. We're having difficulty, sagad na yung volume, but I guess just because it's quite centered to the microphone. Ayun ang observation from Better for thank you, Director Lito and the staff for this first on, and again for the two succeeding ones tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. Thank you.
So to officially close the episode, Director Marisa Cruz.
In behalf of Project Service, we wish to thank in today's webinar series. Pushing through with this endeavor, especially during the pandemic, is challenging but worth taking. We hope that this webinar was able to impart something valuable and was instrumental in insights and action items have been noted. And let this initial undertaking be a guide in our future activities. Inspiration for the local government of Sarangani to create or establish the environmental protection and conservation project. And we hope that other LGUs will follow the feet. Festival. I also express my gratitude to our guest and resource person, Dr. Basada, and environmental planner Cornelio Ramirez, who made their presentations excellent, valuable, and relevant in showcasing the hubs of innovation that were the hallmark of project sustainability. We invite you to join us in tomorrow's 2 of this 3-day webinar on bamboo rehabilitation and development project. Thank you and good day.
Thank you, Marita. Thank you, Ashley Camaro.